bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. We are back today and I am bringing you the top 7 alternatives to the Nike Vomero Premium. This is a super hype shoe that just released. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy it, however, it's hard to buy it because it keeps selling out and it's a very expensive product. So if you're looking for a good deal, you are in the right place, and an even better place would be the Supwell app. And guess what? Not only does the Supwell app, which is my app, have the best buy, sell, and trade marketplace, it's also the best place to find hard to get shoes like the Vomero Premium, because when they sell out, a bunch of people buy them. Not everyone loves them. They put a run or two on them, so they'll sell them on the app for below MSRP. We also have the best community of hobby joggers getting after it daily. So if you're looking for a group of people to motivate you, inspire you, get you out the door, keep you accountable, get in with us, save some money, find the great shoe, and enjoy today's video. Do a thumbnail that says buy this, not that, but I was trying to think in my head, this is hobby jogger geometry. If I'm gonna say buy this on the left side, buy that on the right side, which way should I be holding the shoes? Buy this left side, which means it should be in my right hand, which means this one is the one that you want to buy. Okay, so I think we need to hold this one here and this one here, something like that. Anyway, we're gonna do the top alternative to the Nike Vomero Premium today, not because it's a bad shoe, not because I don't think you should buy it, but because it's hard to buy it. This is a shoe that's selling out immediately right now. It's also very expensive. It's $230, so maybe you don't want to shell out all that cash. So whether your budget is limiting you or your common sense is limiting you and you'd rather put the $230 in the $529 fund that I suggested in the first run review, or you're taking your girl on a date and want to spend the $80 doing something else, today I'm going to give you some alternatives, all of which are cheaper than this and all of which you can actually buy. This is the new thing with running shoes that started becoming popular 18 months ago, 2 years ago, the limited release drop strategy. Nike is one of the brands who pioneered it on the streetwear side, and now we're seeing it trickle out into the running world. If you are looking for one of these, of course, Supwell app is gonna be your best bet. I know they have another colorway coming soon. I think it's October 16th on Running Warehouse, the Volt colorway, the green colorway. Anyway, what makes this good? I'm gonna give you a minute to 90 seconds on why you might wanna buy this, or the qualities in it that you are searching for that would translate to the other shoes. So, Nike Vomero Premium, max stack running shoe. You get a ton of foam, a ton of cushion, and what they've done here that's innovative is instead of using a carbon plate or a plastic plate, they have these air units. So they're not the same exact air units that are in the Alpha Fly. They're the units that somebody told me they're actually from their track spikes. So it's a different type of setup here. It's really to stabilize this big stack of foam, and it also feels much lower than a 10mm drop. So Nike has this classic thing where the heel is a lot higher than the forefoot and aggressively puts you up on your toes. This does not do that. It allows you to run in a very relaxed manner, but it is a ton of foam. It's 55mm in the back, 45mm in the front. So bigger runners and people who are putting more force down into the shoes are loving this as a recovery running shoe. I personally, I'm 6'2", 155 pounds, so I oscillate back and forth into feeling like a bigger runner sometimes versus not. For example, at my race paces, I'm running a 5:40 pace, a sub 6 minute pace at 6'2" with a lower cadence. That's putting down a lot of force into the shoes versus jogging. I don't put a lot of force into the shoe at an 8-minute or a 9-minute pace, right? So with this, for me, I have felt that sometimes it's overkill, and I'll do the full 100-mile review next week or the week after. Sometimes I felt like this is too much foam for me personally. Other people have felt like it's perfect and it's unlocked the next level of running comfort for them. So regardless, the most stacked shoe on the market, the heaviest max cushion shoe on the market, you get a ton of foam, a ton of bounce, and a nice forgiving upper. So all these shoes that I'm gonna highlight here, also max cushion shoes that are designed more for comfort and time on feet. That's where this thing is best. I've taken it on 20-mile long runs. I've done multiple hour-long, 90-minute, 2-hour runs in it, and that's where it really excels. So I will go from least expensive to most expensive here, starting with the deal shoe. My first alternative, it would be this guy here, $100 when you can find it on a sale. I'm not sure the exact sale prices right now, but this exact colorway was on sale for a lot of time. Sometimes I just say things that don't make sense. This was on sale for a good portion of the past year. Hold on, I feel like we didn't get the camera right. I was just talking about buy this, buy that. I didn't completely line up my shot like I wanted to. Are all our cords plugged in? Are all the cords plugged? That's what we have to always think about, these AV issues. And now I'm just fiddling with stuff, and it was probably fine in the first place, right? What's the common thing, or the classic thing? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, if you try to fix it, you might break it. $100 typically at Dick's Sporting Goods, and some other retailers will have colorways of this for sale. If you're looking for this, I would also suggest going into your local Dick's Sporting Goods, because I've seen different colorways of it on sale for $120, $130 and less. So this has all of the cushioned comfort of the Vomero Premium in a slightly softer, lower to the ground package. So this is a case of diminishing returns, and that was what immediately came into mind for me with the Vomero Premium on the first half a mile here around this loop. It was just asking myself the question, have we reached the point of diminishing returns? And what I mean when I say that is, okay, 55 millimeters of stack, there's gotta be a point where, is it 48 millimeters of stack, 47 millimeters of stack? And of course, it's gonna differ depending on how the foam compound responds, but with this ZoomX foam here, there's gotta be a point where for some people, adding the additional foam just isn't giving any more benefit. The Nimbus is a great example of that, because this is not a super max stack shoe, but it's the corollary to what I'm talking about with the Vomero Premium. It has just enough cushion comfort, it has just enough stack to feel like a max cushion cruiser, but it's not too much. Sometimes with the Vomero Premium, I think for me, I can feel like, what is all this stack doing? Am I getting any additional benefit from it? Whereas this, it's everything I need, nothing I don't, while still being a very soft feeling. Now, if you do not want a soft feeling max cushion shoe and you are on the bigger side, I wouldn't go for this. A lot of bigger runners who have tried it either love it or hate it, but they've said it feels soft. For me, it feels perfect. Like the Vomero Premium, you get a great rocker, so that's the thing that ties these two things together. One of the most comfortable walking shoes out there. So if you're just looking for something that is super comfortable for walking, this would be my pick, especially with the deal prices. I've been taking my Nimbus 27 TR, which is the same thing as this with just a more durable, rugged outsole. I've been taking that as my main travel shoe on my last 2 trips. So this would be my first alternative. If you want to pay half the price when you can find it on a deal of the Vomero Premium, if you're looking for a casual shoe, or if you just want something simple with soft comfort and you don't need all the tech, Nimbus 27. All right, moving up the list, we're going lowest to highest in price. So this guy here, let me actually check. Hold on, pause. Not pause like that. Just, you know what I mean. Just pause your, get your mind out of the gutter. You might retire in the Megablast. I feel like Mike Myers in the Megablast. Got me preaching to the choir in the Megablast. I made that boy blow a tire in the Megablast. I ordered DoorDash, so I thought that might have been it, but it's a Porsche Macan. But you never know. Some people buy a Porsche Macan and then they start doing DoorDash and Uber so that they could finance the whip. Anyway, if you're looking to save some money because you bought a Porsche Macan, you might want to check out the Skechers Aero Burst. So this thing is a banger. It's the most slept on banger of all time. I compared it, not this one actually, I compared the Aero Tempo on Instagram, and sometimes I'll just write these things that make myself laugh, and that's half of this channel. I'm just doing jokes that I personally think are funny, like doing weird title transition cards, and then people think I'm taking it seriously. Same thing with the Instagram. It's like, I know people aren't actually gonna read what's on these slides, but I think it's funny, so I'm gonna put some effort into this and laugh at my own jokes, because I'm a dad and that's what we should do. But I said the Aero Tempo Skechers was the Justin Timberlake in sync era, because it's legit, but people aren't taking it serious because of the brand. That's really the issue with the Skechers shoes this year. People just see this weird looking S, They see Tony Romo wearing it, they see Julius Randle wearing it, and all these Skechers guys. Is Julius Randle Skechers now? I think he is. And they're saying I'm never gonna buy that. But this is a highly capable max cushion shoe, super bouncy, some nice squish, great rocker geometry, very similar feel to the Nike Vomero Premium, and that the more you put into it, the more you're gonna get out of it. So it's not as soft as the Nimbus, it's not as, I would say, simple feeling as the Nimbus. It does have that fun to it and a really exciting forefoot toe off, and that's something that the Vomero Premium has as well. Because you get this AirPod right up here under the forefoot, right up here under the ball of your foot, you get a nice pop. And what they've done with this Hyperburst foam, so it's a nice soft and bouncy foam paired with some carbon reinforcements in here, you get a really good toe off too. So this reminds me of the Brooks Glycerin Max. This is almost this year's version of that shoe. Great rocker geometry, lower drop feel, nice fitting upper, no complaints. So if you want to try something different, Skechers Aero Burst. All right, moving on up the list here. $150 alternative to the Nike Vomero Premium. This might be a curveball for some people here, but Saucony Endorphin trainer. So Saucony actually cut the price on this to $150 because it got terrible reviews. This was not a shoe that was loved when it came out. Not a lot of people liked it. I actually really liked it, and everyone I know who's tried it, who's not a running shoe reviewer, has liked it. And that's not a shot at the running shoe reviewers. I'm just saying the people that I know have tried it, liked it. I think the issue with this is it's not a speed shoe. It's almost like if you were evaluating the Nimbus going into it with the expectations that it would be the Megablast, right? If you were thinking the Nimbus was supposed to be the best running shoe of all time and this super fast, versatile speed weapon, you would say this is terrible and overrated, and why would you want to pay $200 for that? So people were coming into the Endorphin trainer with warped expectations. It's not a speed shoe. They put a heavier foam on the bottom, a standard EVA foam on the bottom, but you get one of the most exciting, if not the most exciting foam of the year on the top in the Incrediron. So this is really one that I would give a shot if you want to try something that is exciting with some stability. It does feel very protective. It is super easy to run in like the Vomero Premium, and it just feels so much lighter on foot. So again, a case of, man, is the Vomero Premium slightly too much shoe? Is it slightly overkill for some people? The Endorphin trainer, I don't get that feeling. I just get this nice assisted feel, and the Incrediron foam gives me a lot of bounce. Also has a great upper, one of the best uppers in the game out there. This nice stretchy material that breathes well, and it's not a super slow shoe or anything. I actually did marathon pace repeats in it out of the box. I think I did a 4x2 mile workout. I would not do something like that in the Vomero Premium. I've actually seen some people saying you could take this for workouts. It is just such a big shoe. And for me, it's not even that you can't run fast in a heavy shoe, but I find the shoes with a lot of foam, they actually hurt my hips sometimes and make me work in ways that don't feel natural. That's why I like either a lower stack shoe like the Boston 13 or a carbon plated shoe. It just eliminates that weirdness. I don't want to try to run fast in a high stack shoe because all that mushy stack can just throw off the mechanics and everything. So you can run fast in this, especially if your speed paces are more 8-minute, 9-minute range. I mean, I did 550 pace repeats in this, and it was great. So Endorphin trainer, $150. Also, if you use our discount code on Running Warehouse, I think that brings this down to $135. So really good deal, $100 cheaper than the Vomero Premium. You can buy your wife a $100 bouquet, or you could buy yourself a few packs of Morton or a few cartons of Marlboros. Next up here, the rest of these shoes are all pretty pricey, so we're jumping from $150 to $180. Next alternative, Puma MagMax. Man, top 10 running shoe of all time for me. Absolute beast. What have I not said about the MagMax? It's comfortable, it's bouncy, it's stable, and the Vomero Premium is actually weirdly stable. That's one of the things that has gone for it. It is so much foam and stack underfoot, but because ZoomX is not the absolute squishiest out there, and because they've used these firmer pods to structure it in here, it's not giving me a super mushy feel. And then they do have the plastic heel clip in the back. So MagMax, no gimmicks, there's no AirPods, there's no clips or anything. You just got a ton of foam, Goldilocks zone with the foam, lots of bounce. I have this over 200 miles and is really durable. So if you are looking for a long run shoe and you don't want a carbon plated shoe and you don't want anything that is super aggressive, the MagMax is still the best bet out there. It's just hard because I talk about this almost every day. I feel like when I'm doing these videos, I talk about, man, it's hard with the pace of releases and the shoes getting hyped up, and when one shoe drops, we have to pull something else out of the top 5 and people aren't going to be buying older shoes. But this is a shoe that has really stood the test of time. Every time I come back to it, it is still great. Hopefully they give us a V2 soon just to reinvigorate interest in it. But man, absolute tank of a shoe. One of the best running shoes of the 2020s. Personal favorite for me. Maybe a top 5 shoe for me. One of my highest mileage training shoes. I think the Megablast might be rivaling that because we're getting that up close to 200, but this is a shoe that I've put a lot of marathon pace or marathon training miles in. And I actually did, it's so funny, I was looking at my last year on Strava. It'll give you your workout from the year before, and I did a 3x1 mile at Threshold in this on my lead up to Chicago. By the way, everyone thinks I'm running Chicago this year. I've never said I was running Chicago. I never even talked about Chicago. I'm not signed up for Chicago. I'm not running the Chicago Marathon this year. I wish I were running the Chicago Marathon because it's an absolutely great race. Also, the logistics of it are not bad at all, especially from where I live in Charlotte. It's a super short flight, but I missed the sign up this year, and I don't have connections like that where I just get free bibs from people or whatever. I pay my own way. I pay for all this stuff through the blood, sweat, and mileage. So no Chicago this year, maybe next year. People are asking me about a meetup. I don't know. I haven't organized any events ever yet. Maybe next year we got to get that event strategy rolling. But I'm just so focused on the Supwell app 2.0 right now. It's like blinders. It's coming, so that's really what I'm focused on. All right, next up, moving up the list, $200. This is my number 1 alternative. So we did this based on lowest to highest price. I'm just making sure the camera's right. Lowest to highest price, but this would be my number 1 alternative to the Nike Vomero Premium. Let's throw up number 1 alternative. Mizuno Neo Vista 2. So with this guy, you get nearly 50 millimeters of stack height. You get the awesome rocker, but you also get a really lightweight. So sub 300 grams versus 360 grams in my size for the Vomero Premium. And people think it fits big, so you could get a smaller size. You could go half a size down and it would be even lighter, right? This would probably be 280 grams in my size versus 290 or something. So very light. You do get the plastic plate. That does give it an additional degree of snap and pep when you want it versus the Vomero Premium, but it's not too aggressive. It doesn't put you up on your toes too much, but it does feel more capable than the Vomero Premium. So Vomero Premium, very relaxed shoe. It has the bounce to it, and if you can activate those pods, you can get it going. With this one though, it's all about the lightweight, and it just makes me feel so efficient at my endurance paces. I just get locked into this nice rhythm with this. So this would be my top recommendation because it feels so good for the long runs. If you are looking for the best in running shoe technology for increasing your mileage with a lower impact on the body, that would be this. That is the whole thesis of the Vomero Premium. They're trying to give you this anti-gravity treadmill feel. They're trying to reduce the impact. And I have found that anecdotally for me, man. I felt that running at an 8:30 pace in the Vomero Premium. It felt like jogging at a 10-minute pace or running at a 7-flat pace. It almost felt like the effort on the body was a 750 pace, or the impact on the body. That's a very similar thing in the Neo Vista 2. I do have to give it to the Vomero Premium for just that additional level of protection and impact absorption, but this is right there. I was waiting for the neighbors to pass. Did I say, by the way, I was trying to get the price of the Aero Burst and then my phone died, but I did see on the Skechers website, it said $90. $90. I don't know if that's just one colorway or something, but yeah, I'll flash up the price. All right, moving up. So last 2 shoes here, $225. Another great alternative to the Vomero Premium, Hoka Skyward X. So this is another shoe that is gotta be a top 15 shoe of all time for me. I gotta put this list together of my top 10, top 15 shoes, but just in terms of enjoyment, and for me, there's a certain category of shoes. They're not necessarily the best shoes or the lightest shoes or the most efficient shoes, but there's a certain category of shoes for me that are undefeated in that I can't have a bad run in them. The Skyward X fits into that category. And very similar to the Vomero Premium, it just makes it so easy to run. It has a great rocker. You get the 2 different types of foam here. So you have a more standard foam on the bottom, you have the race foam on the top, you have the carbon fiber plate, and there's just lots of assistance. And once you get this thing going, it just has a mind of its own, and it's one of the bounciest shoes out there. So whereas something like the Neo Vista 2, this has the plastic plate with the custom training foam that's almost like a race foam, the Mizuno Energy Next, and then an impact absorption foam here. Whereas this is more about the efficiency over long distances, the time on feet, reducing the impact. Skyward X is more about a fun bounce. It's not necessarily the practical choice, and neither is the Vomero Premium, right? If you're paying $230 for a max cushion shoe, it's not all about the utility. This has some elements to it that are just pure unbridled joy, that are childish fun, juvenile shenanigans. It is just such an enjoyable shoe to run in. Great rocker, rubber coverage is decent, durability is also decent. I know some people have gotten this up to a higher mileage level, and very similar to the MagMax here, this is a shoe that just because it released last year, people aren't really checking for it, but specs and performance and fun right up there still with the Vomero Premium. So if you are looking for the utmost in bounce and fun and cushion, bang, Hoka Skyward X, absolute banger. This was one of my favorite shoes of last year, and it can still hang in this category. This is another shoe that I really want the V2 just so we can put it back up into the conversation. It's just been on the market for so long now. There's so many other shoes that have released. Like our last alternative on this list, bang, Asics Megablast. Man, it wouldn't be a list without the Megablast. It's like an angel's kiss in the Megablast. Yeah, so this is a shoe that is not in the exact category as the Nike Vomero Premium, but you know what category they both are in? A whole lot of gosh dang money. And no matter how much money you have in the bank, spending $230 is spending $230. It is a competition. Money is a finite resource, and that's the thing. People always say, I see this come up so many times, how can you compare the Hoka Clifton to the Asics Megablast? How can you compare the Mizuno Neo Vista 2 to the Adidas Prime X Strung 3? They're in different categories. No, that's not how it works. Non-shoe sickos look for a running shoe to run in. They're all in the same category of shoes that cost money that you can run in, right? So while on paper, Megablast isn't designed to be a max cushion cruiser with the utmost in comfort and protection, it's another expensive shoe, and it is surprisingly close once it's broken in use case, in feel to the Vomero Premium. So I have this almost up at 200 miles now. I've been almost exclusively running in this over the past week. I haven't been doing any new shoe reviews. I'm on this mileage cut right now. I'm just trying to get through it. I have a whole lot of stuff going on. So I've just been running this, eliminate decision fatigue, and it's been great. I ran 9-minute miles in it yesterday. It was super comfortable. I ran a 7:40 pace run with some strides today, and of course it's great for that because of the strides. I did a workout in it earlier this week, and it's great. So for a certain category of runner, you're going to be able to do everything that you can do with the Vomero Premium in this, which is just the relaxed miles and the cruising, plus the strides and the faster stuff. And of course you can do the strides in the Vomero Premium, but for me, I don't like trying to run fast with all that stacked. So this feels way lighter. It's 250 grams roughly in my size versus 360 for the Vomero Premium. It's not designed or tuned to be the softest, squishiest, most comfortable feel, but once it's broken in 100 miles, 150 miles, it is a lot more comfortable for everyday use. So if you're looking for something that can go fast and can do the daily miles, that would be the Megablast. The cool thing about the Megablast too is it's a hype shoe. Asics knew it was going to be a hype shoe, but they didn't restrict the quantity. You can also actually still buy it. So shout out to Asics for not doing the fake supply constraint thing that Nike does and that Adidas does. Another hat in the, another feather in the cap of Asics, just proving they're the best brand out right now. Even Puma is doing the supply constraint thing with the Fast R3, although I don't know if they forecast the demand of that to be so high because it's just selling out every single time. But there you go. Those are my 7 alternatives to the Nike Vomero Premium. Let me list them off one more time. We got the Nimbus for a good deal and for soft cushion comfort. We got the Aero Burst for another good deal and for the bounce and nice rocker geometry with the impact protection. We have the Saucony Endorphin trainer for fun, bounce, and for long run capability. Not the fastest shoe out there, but a really fun ride. We've got the Puma MagMax for durability, for no nonsense miles. If you want a shoe that can eat up a ton of the endurance work you're gonna need to do during marathon training, or if you're increasing your volume. We have Mizuno Neo Vista 2, the lightest max cushion shoe and the top long run max cushion shoe of the year that can also pick up the pace here and there. We have Hoka Skyward X, absolute banger, one of the bounciest shoes out there, super fun. Not the practical choice, but it's a choice that's almost guaranteed to put a smile on your face. And the Megablast, which is the best all-around shoe, can handle a lot of the work of the Vomero Premium with a more aggressive feel. So there you go. Let me know what other shoes people should get. What are the other top alternatives? I didn't include the Glizzy Max. Maybe that would be one. Maybe the Vomero Plus is an alternative you should get. Let me know. And let me know if you got the Vomero Premium, whether you think is worth it. $230, that's a lot of money. And also let me know what questions I should answer in the 100-mile review of this when we do it. So I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Merch returns, man. The merch returns just... It's finally PR weather, so I had to pull up in the hard sweater. It's the young bar getter. Nah, I'm the bar giver. I might run to a far river, jump in, because I'm a good swimmer. No, I don't know, man. The bars are getting bad. I'm washed, dude. This channel is done. This channel is done.